Hello. I just got back from a trip to Animal Kingdom. I am not sure when the timeline of this being released is, whether the vlog for that is out or not. Doesn't matter. I am here. This is my first time going to Animal Kingdom since I guess you could say early teenhood. I think the last time I went was 2011. It is now, for recording context, 2024 if you're watching this in the future. And yeah, so it's been a very long time since I've gone. So it was pretty much a fresh, new experience, new park. There's some things, that I loved, but essentially it was a new experience. And I think that we did almost everything. So I wanted to go through. And for, the weakest, the lowest tier of the four Florida Disney parks, I would say it was still a great time and still had a lot I love. So let's dive in and rank things. Right off the bat, so here's the thing. Maybe if I open image a new tab, I can better see what it is. This is a theater. Oh, this is the bird show. Okay. I know what that is. I'm going to have to do some of these because some of these images are not clear what they are. Like, I don't know what that is. Hence why I created a tier. I indicate what that is. This was one of the... Okay. I'm just going through, like, the things I don't know. This was one of the trails. This was another one of the trails. Okay. I feel like I got... This... So I think what this was, what I gathered from the park, I don't know this for sure, I could be talking on mass. What I gathered from the park is this is a spot you go to in order to get this, it's for kids, in order to get this sort of explorer's book, guidebook based on the Kid from Up, and you go and complete different like little side quests and different tasks around the park. Like I saw a lot of like the zoo-esque, because I bet a lot of kids were like talking with cast members who were explaining things and then signing something off in their book that I think was connected to this. I don't know for sure. I think that's a cool idea, but I never experienced this myself, so I can't. If what I'm envisioning is correct. The Lion King show, I might have done this when I was a small child. I might have. I think I probably did, but I don't remember. Haven't done / don't remember. So I'm gonna put this there. I love the Broadway show. If it's anything like that, it'll be great. Tough to be a bug. Yeah, I want to say shit tier, but I don't remember it enough. I remember hating it as a kid, hating it. So, but I can't like say what it would consciously be like as an adult. The safari. This was a very fun safari, sanitized safari adventure. It was fun, informative. I liked seeing all the animals. What can I say? We're simple creatures. You see cool animals and you ride around in through cool environments. It's solid. Obviously, it's not going to be comparable to a real African safari, but it was still cool, and it's still cool that you get to do that included with your admission, because this could very well be an attraction in its own right that would be somewhere in Florida that would charge $80 to just do that, so it's cool that it's a ride that you get to go on. I think this was one of the these that we did 2 animal zoo-esque trails, and I know I know Kim's gonna say to death that it's not a zoo, but these are just 2 zoo-esque trails, and it's perfectly serviceable zoo-esque trails that you can walk through, in and out, 20-minute adventure each time. You just look at animals. Perfectly serviceable zoo, I would say. So I'm putting both of those in mid-tier as well. What is this? Conservation station. I don't know what that is, so we obviously did not do that. This was the bird show, I think. This was definitely geared toward kids. It's definitely a show for little kids, but I remembered it from when I was a kid, and I think it's probably a pretty fun experience. One of the two, Alberto Genzak will vehemently deny us, but one of the 2 hosts of the show to me looked so much like Matt Pat that I couldn't unsee that he was Matt Pat in my head, Matt with a mustache, and no one else saw it but me. I don't know. Obviously, I'm sure the cast members hosting the show changes like a lot during a day, let alone an era. So you probably will get a very different one. If you've seen that host and you know what I'm talking about, comment below. But yeah, this was a fun show. I mean, it was very like basic, very like childlike, but it was really cool to see all these birds do all these like awesome tricks, and without the need for torture. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors, but it seemed like the environment seemed like friendly and a good vibe. So I would also put this in mid tier. Cali River Rapids, I'm going to say, don't remember, because I obviously did it as a kid, but like I don't remember, between this and like, whatever rapids at Busch Gardens and whatever rapids at other parks I went to as a kid, like I could not tell you the difference. I don't remember it enough, so I'm not going to rank it. Finding Nemo, I'm going to come back to Everest in a second. Finding Nemo show I've never seen. Which one is this? Dinorama. Which one is Dinorama again? Is this a ride? Is this even a ride? Nah, it's just... I thought it was just the area, because that's the Triceratops spin. And then there's Primeval Whirl. I didn't think it was Dinorama was a ride. Is it? I don't know. I'm going to say... You know what? I will rank this as the whole Dino Land and say it's low tier. I think it's, like you're going to have fun if you go on Triceratops. I mean, if you go on the Triceratops, but they're not like, they're not special, like crazy Disney rides. So yeah, you know what? I'm talking about Dino Land, but I don't think I'm going to rank it. I don't think like I'll put that on the list. Triceratops spin, it's just Dumbo with generic, like, it's, nothing special. I'm gonna put low tier. It's not like, bad. Primeval Whirl, I remember this being like a, same thing, very generic mousetrap style roller coaster. The thing with Dinoland USA is it's a carnival theme, and carnival rides are it's laziness for Disney. Disney with these revolutionary cutting edge rides, that are like classics, it's just weird to see like random, like, run in the mill, like shittier park carnival or carnival vibes there. Okay, I'll go into it. The Boneyards, where you dig up for bones. I feel like I did it as a kid and remember having fun, but I think it's been too long. Okay, so Expedition Everest is probably the only Animal Kingdom ride that pierces the list of my favorite rides of all time. I think this is probably contender for my favorite ride queue of all time. There was one time, this time we got a very quick wait. We like on it in 20 minutes probably, so I didn't really get to linger around and like see, the whole queue and drench in its detail, but there's so much love and detail and attention put into, and like environmental storytelling put into the queue of this ride, that the queue alone got like a high tier. Like you can like, there's all these like plaques with information and lore and all these different photos and like different books and like different like interpretations of the story of the ride from different cultures. It's so cool and so well thought out, and the ride like carries that vibe on, there's just something so, it's Disney magic when you go up that hill and you're going up and you pass through this like ancient temple and you see this like ancient art of the Yeti that you're about to see, and and you get to the top of the tracks and it's all ripped up and you're like, oh my god, what are you gonna do? Obviously it's fake, but like the Disney magic of that experience, like where like it's like I love, like I'm such a sucker for in rides when the ride is it appears that something's wrong, like Jurassic Park River Adventure, the ride is broken and that like you're going an alternate route, even though that's obviously the intention of the ride. But like I love that vibe in rides, and this is a fun roller coaster. It's not too extreme, so like it's a good first roller coaster for like older kids, you know, and just the vibe, like, you know, like in the whole, like, just build up to everything, and you know the Yeti animatronic is awesome, and like it's actual genuine thrill. It's not like, you know, there's like a genuine thrill, like there's genuine like drops and like turns and things that make you like shout and scream, and it's just such a, in my opinion, perfect ride, probably my top 10 rides of all time. So this is going into God tier. Dinosaur, I didn't remember it, but it's very fun. It's a very fun, you know, ride. It's a little jolty, a little painful. It's oozing with 90s cheesiness, and I absolutely love that. The conceit of the ride is like a major plot hole in itself. It's so cheesy, and it's like it. Here's how I describe it. This is 100% a Universal Studios ride. If that makes sense to you, like, it is 100% a Universal ride that somehow ended up in Disney, tied to an IP very loosely, because it's not like, it's like you would think it would be like, oh, they're tying it into the dinosaur IP. It's gonna be related to the plot of that movie. Not at all. It's its own unique story, and that just happens to like loosely tie to the IP, and it's just oozing with 90s cheesiness, and it's so much fun for that sense. It's like textbook fun, you know, pure fun, and because of that, I think I'm putting it. I want to put it in mid tier. I'm gonna put it in mid tier. I think that's where it belongs. Just looking at everything else that's there. Okay, then we get the 2 Avatar rides. So I will go in the order we went on them. We went on Flight of Passage and Way of Water. Not Way of Water. Navi River Journey. The movie is called Way of Water. Anyway, I will start by saying I couldn't care less about Avatar. If you turn your brain off and just imagine this as a new, like, non-IP tied new Land of Animal Kingdom, it works incredibly well. Like, oh, life on a different planet. That's a cool concept for Animal Kingdom. Like, animal life and, you know, culture of a different planet. Really cool. You know, I like that idea. Just forget it's tied to an IP. It was cool going on Flight of Passage not knowing what even the format of the ride, the medium of the ride, the type of ride it was. Like, I had no idea. I my prediction going in was like, oh, it's Avatar Soaring, and I was close. I was kind of close, but I will get into that soon. The queue for this ride is one of the best ever, I would say. You start outside in this like insanely beautiful, like fully immersive, like fully in jungle nature of Pandora, with these, you know, the floating mountains that are incredibly imagineer to look like they're floating, but like obviously it's like the weight is distributed into the vines and stuff. It's just really, really cool. And then it like, you start outside, then the queue transitions into like this cave system, and you know there's different, like, you know, cave paintings and everything, and then it slowly gets more like, oh, there's like some, you know, it's starting to get a little more like industrial, you know. It's starting to like, oh, like, okay, there's a man-made like passageway here, and then it completely transitions from that, like, slowly into like a lab with so much to see. And as you can see here, there's even a full like Avatar animatronic that moves in a tank, giant tank. There's like all these little lab experiments you walk around. There's all these documentation and lore just hidden around, and it's one of the best queues I've ever seen. And then you get on the ride, and you really don't know up until like the second you're sitting down what the ride system is going to be. And the ride system is flawed. I will say that. It is, the intention is supposed to be a personal journey in which you are bonding with a banshee, and you are flying through Pandora. And if the conceit of the format would work, if as it is now, if the conceit of the ride wasn't that you are one person bonding with one avatar. If you were a group riding on a banshee, then it's like, okay, this like makes sense. Like, you could trash contraption the banshee, you're all flying together. But like the fact that like it's supposed to be a personal journey, and you just look to your left and right and you can see everyone with you, is dumb. Just add like simple like urinal barriers between each seat, and it automatically heightens the conceit of it, you know. Either do that, you know, do something like Mission Space, where you're kind of like just like in, if I remember correctly with Mission Space, you're kind of, I haven't been on in so long, but you're like kind of like in your own little cubby, Like, do something like that, because, like, I think that would make it more immersive. Like, being able to see everyone in my party and everyone that was on the ride at the same, like, time as me, just next to me, being able to look to my sides and see that just kind of breaks the immersion of the ride. And you see them in your peripheral vision the entire time. But overall, it was still very cool. I think another issue with this ride was the visuals are, beautiful and luscious and movie like, but like you can't really see them because the glasses didn't fit my face properly and everything was kind of blurry the whole time. I think it's like, Jen was saying she's been on a few times and she gets fluctuating like quality of visuals. I would say, and for me this time it was like everything was blurry, but I was still able to appreciate and immerse the ride. If it was just queue alone, I put it in God tier, but like because the ride was like, there's issues. It's still good, still very fun. I would still recommend it to everyone, but I would say there's legitimate issues that should have been improved. So I'm gonna put it in mid tier. Nami River Journey, I would say, is surprisingly, I wasn't expecting to say is the better of the two Avatar rides. I think this is a beautiful dark ride, like one of the best dark rides in my opinion. It's short, but it could have been. I would say they would have added 2 minutes longer, maybe two more set pieces into it. I think it would be perfect. But I think it's very reminiscent of like the first half or the first section of Living with the Land, I would say, but it's an alien planet and the visuals are incredible. There's a lot of amazing, beautiful set pieces and like Imagineering technology to how the visuals are conveyed. That's really, really cool, and you just feel completely immersed, and it's so relaxing and so visually engaging at the same time. Like, a lot of people would say, oh, it's a nap ride, but no, there's so much beautiful visuals and unique stuff to see that you just want to soak it in all and look at everything and try to get it all in. But you're kind of like, every time you move, the boat stops a little bit and then you move again. You're like, oh, we really got to leave this set piece. I want to, bask in it more. And there's amazing animatronic in it too that's like really has incredible movement detail and realism to it. That like almost they're almost scary. Like I could see if I was a kid being scared of that animatronic. That's how like realistic it was. It was really cool. It was like, like in terms of like so close to being real, it was like uncanny values. But the visuals were incredible. I thought this was a beautiful dark ride. I just think it needed to be a little bit longer, and that's why I'm putting it in high tier. And okay, I think that's ranking all of the attractions of Animal Kingdom. I think, overall, my takes on Animal Kingdom this time is that, like, I used to say it as, like, oh, Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios were, like, the half-day parks. So, like, you did your Magic Kingdom a full day, Epcot a full day, and then, like, you kind of, like, your last day there, you did the half day of Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. And I think now, because they added, Pandora World of Avatar to Animal Kingdom and Galaxy's Edge to Hollywood Studios, they're full days now. And I think Disney kind of corrected that issue that they like were kind of dealing with, where it's like, oh, everyone's doing these 3-day trips and like, condensing the days. Like, let's make them stay at a resort one more night and make the parks more bigger. And I think it really paid off for them because, as dumb of it using an Avatar as your IP is, there's like this theme park delay of IPs where like something's super popular and then 10 years later the theme park land tied to that IP gets finished because of just how like the time it takes to make a theme park land and rides, it just takes too long. And you can't, that's the curse of tying it with IPs. That's why you shouldn't be tying everything with IPs. You can try individual rides with IPs, but don't make whole lands based on IPs anymore. Just make a unique land and have like a cluster of rides in it that are maybe some of them are tied to IPs. I think that's the way to do it. But yeah, overall, I'm much more satisfied with the Animal Kingdom than I remembered. I always used to think it was the lackluster, like stepchild of the Disney Florida parks. But like I would say it's like I can better. It has one of my favorite rides of all time in it, and the Avatar stuff is great, and the Imagineering it's incredible. Even the Avatar restaurant has a lot of like little cute touches and lore to it too that I really liked. So yeah, overall, like I like Animal Kingdom a lot more than I remember, and I think it's a really, really solid park. And a fun full day experience now. But yeah, this is my ranking. Let me know if you guys have agreements, disagreements. Alberto, Jen, Zach, if you're watching this, fight me on all this stuff. But yeah, that's my take. So yeah, thanks guys for watching.